Daughters often idolize their fathers. My father is the smartest, hardest working man I know, and he is a veterinarian. He has always told me that veterinarians can do anything. So, at the age of 14, I decided to follow my father's footsteps. Today, I'm a veterinarian and a scientist working at the interface of human and animal health. I am leveraging veterinary medicine to solve human health problems. Now, my dad is a small animal veterinarian, but I knew early on that I wanted something different. I wanted to have a global impact. I wanted to make the world a better, healthier place for animals and people. When I went to veterinary school, at first, I really struggled to find my niche. But then I began to interact with veterinarians and scientists engaged in global health research. And at that moment, I began to truly realize just how limitless the possibilities were for me, and perhaps for all of you, for making a difference in my chosen career path. Ultimately, I decided to tackle one of the greatest global health challenges of all time, finding ways to combat tuberculosis, or TB, in people. Now, many of you may be familiar with disease, tuberculosis, or otherwise known as consumption, as it's portrayed here, or in period piece films such as the Moulin Rouge, where there is a sickly heroine with a chronic cough with blood. Those depictions are not exaggerations. TB is a debilitating lung disease, not unlike cancer, where not only do the lungs slowly fill with infection, preventing the person from breathing, but also causing a terrible wasting disease. Currently, 1/3 of the world's population, or over 2 billion people, are either actively or latently infected with tuberculosis. And TB causes 1/4 of all HIV-related deaths. Even a marginally effective vaccine would help millions. For this reason, I decided to focus my research on TB vaccine development. You know, it's funny, before I came to Tufts, it never ceased to amaze me just how perplexed people would be when I would tell them that I was doing research on tuberculosis. They would give me sort of the funny look and say, "Oh, for animals?" "No," I would say, "for people. I'm doing research to understand how the bacterium, Mycobacterium tuberculosis, makes people sick. Research to understand why it is so hard to treat TB with antibiotics and why TB can persist in our bodies for a lifetime." Now, you might be asking yourself, isn't there already a vaccine for tuberculosis? And the answer is yes, there is. It's called BCG, but for reasons that we don't completely understand, it doesn't work as well in adults. It primarily works in children, while the burden of TB disease occurs in adults. I'm trying to understand why BCG works by studying bacterial DNA so that I can make a better TB vaccine. Bacteria are just like people. They have a genetic code, and that genetic code, or the TB genome, holds the clues to the bacteria's arsenal for causing illness, otherwise known as its virulence genes. My research focuses on understanding the virulence genes that allows TB to persist in the body despite an otherwise strong immune response, or the body's first defense. By understanding TB's virulence genes, I hope to be able to design a vaccine that can hit TB in its weakest spot. And I have one superpower that helps me do this job a little bit easier: the power of pathology. As a veterinary comparative pathologist, my job is to understand how disease affects all species, including humans. By understanding how disease in animals and humans are different or similar, I can then help decide if a vaccine is working in animals and help others decide whether that vaccine should be tested in people. The best part about this is that I can use this toolkit not only for TB vaccines, but for any vaccine. So when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, I was able to pivot my research toolkit towards evaluating the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I have to say, I am extremely proud to have contributed to COVID-19 vaccine development. If you would have told me when I decided to become a veterinarian that I was going to be working on diseases such as tuberculosis or COVID-19, I probably wouldn't have believed you. But it's true. Veterinarians can do anything. Veterinarians all over the world are helping animals, people, and the planet. Right here at Tufts Cummings School of Veterinary Medicine, Veterinarians and researchers alike are helping not only our companion animals, but also the environment. They're helping secure our food supply and protecting our wildlife. And maybe a veterinarian will even make a TB vaccine one day or help stop COVID-19. One thing's for sure, this veterinarian is going to try. Thank you.